Hi, there's Kevin with the Rogue Market here with a market update for. I know I sound like a broken record talking about iconic masters, iconic masters, iconic masters, iconic masters, but I still think this is the best buy. Forget all of the collector's edition Icorias out there, or the Commander 2020s, which are going to crash in value once the full wave comes, or any other product that is the spicy new product right now, and it's time to refocus back on Iconic Masters because Iconic Masters is where the juicy stuff is. Now, I've talked about this in videos in the past where this set was not received well. People actually hated Iconic Masters when it was first spoiled because they felt like it wasn't iconic enough, and there really wasn't any chase cards at the time period when Iconics was released that really justified the price of the Masters set. Well, that has changed with cards like Avacyn, Angel of Hope, and Consecrated Sphinx becoming old enough. You got to think New Phyrexia when Iconic Masters was released. I mean, it was old, but it wasn't as old as it was now. I mean, this is now approaching the Iconic Masters is what, over 2 years, almost 3 years old from when it was released. So these cards have had time to accrue value, and there are some goodies in this set. That's why I've always stated that Iconic Masters was the Masters set over Masters 25 that you should look into investing in. In fact, Iconic Masters has more value in it than something like Modern Masters 2015 does. So that it has a lot saying for this particular set. So what has changed in the last few days with Iconic Masters? Well, Mana Drain continues to go up. It missed a very key reprint in the mystery booster boxes. We have Avacyn Angel of Hope as well that is been going up. It actually went down from its high, but it's still a $50 card. We have Consecrated Sphinx that has spiked up in the past few days. We have Thoughtseize that's holding nice and steady. In fact, the other version, the Theros version, is starting to creep up. There used to be a big wide discrepancy between the pricing of the Thoughtseize Iconic Masters and the Thoughtseize from Theros. And this card has been creeping up. And we have Horizon Canopy that is holding nice and steady. Other cards like the Shouldered Whispering One and Vorinclex Voice of Hunger have performed well. And Archangel Thune doesn't show much here for the Iconic Masters version, but you can see that the M14 version actually has leapfrogged the Iconic Masters. So I'm assuming that the Iconic Masters Archangel Thune is going to go up in value. And speaking of Archangel Thune, look at the foil price. So the foil spread is a 1.1. Yes, that's typical for master sets because the foils aren't much more, especially when we're looking at mythics. A foil mythic isn't that much more rare than just a regular mythic because of just how the foil slots and the rarity of the foil slots actually work. However, I still think the foil is more sought after than the normal, so a 1.1 multiplier, something's got to give here, and I think that it's going to be the price tag that's going to go up. If you actually look at the Core 2014 foil price, it has been able to hit about $38 and has been going up within. So look at Theros is 27 and now it's 37. If we go back to the Iconic Masters one, when Theros was released, it's 24 to 27. Now, there are some factors with this. The rarity of just people trying to foil out their sets. You always get that one collector that's trying to work back, like a new Magic the Gathering player that's like, oh, I want to get a foil of every card, and they start working back, and that's why like something out of M14 goes up before Iconic Masters does. And the quality of these foils was, let's be frank, was pretty bad for Iconic Masters. So that could be some factors leading into why this one is cheaper. But the foil price is actually cheaper than M14 price. Yeah, that's not going to hold. So that's going to add a bit more value to the Iconic Masters box EV with cards even like Archangel Thune, the foil version, starting to go up and match the non-foils of the other sets. So let's go down with cards like Aether Vial. I expect Aether Vial to have a good rebound once the companions are banned in Modern. I think that we're going to go back to running decks that run Vial. There actually is some interesting cards that came out of Ikoria that I think work very well with Aether Vial. And we have commander staples like Necropotence and Magus of the Moon, which is, both a commander and a... this is another one that's very interesting. Look at the price trajectory for Magus of the Moon. This is one of the reasons why Iconic Masters was considered such a dud set. So they reprinted cards that were like $20 in value, and then they got crushed. And it continued to go down, even all the way to War of the Spark. And this trend was pretty much held true throughout all the Iconic Masters cards. But now it's become old enough that this does accrue value. That's why I say when these master sets come out, that the time isn't to splurge on them right here. It was why I was so critical about Ultimate Masters. If you've been a longtime subscriber of this channel, you know some of the early controversy of my Rogue Market channel was just dogging on Ultimate Masters. I dogged that it was not the time to buy Ultimate Masters, that there was so much supply that all the cards had to go down and they were going to get crushed even worse than Iconic Masters or Masters 25 because of the supply being able to be injected into the system a lot quicker than the other master sets. Now, that is still true. Ultimate Masters is hard to find sealed, where Iconic Masters, surprisingly, is not hard to find sealed. The box price has moved up this last week. It was $175 last week. It's now $180 for me to get a sealed booster box. And the prices on TCG Player as well as eBay have crept up about $5 to $10 in the past week as well. So there's a lot of movement for Iconic Masters, whereas Ultimate Masters is still staying quite stagnant. So let's actually take a look at Dawnglare here and see compare Iconic Masters to the other sets. So a good indicator is to try to anchor it to like Modern Horizons. Modern Horizons, though, is a new set because these were right around each other just a few weeks ago. So you look at April 20th, we had a 164 and I guess 132. So there was a point though that Modern Horizons and Iconic Masters were right on par with each other, and Masters 25 was actually worth more than Iconic Masters, and you can see that there's quite a bit of discrepancy between the pricing of Iconic Masters versus the Masters 25. So now it's $20 more, and the curve does look like the Masters 25 might be able to catch up, but I'm expecting Iconic Masters to increase in box price when those foils do start to catch up to their normal prices. If we actually compare it though without the box topper, the price of Ultimate Masters, we are seeing some increase in Ultimate Masters going back up. So sealed as a whole is starting to, these older sets definitely starting to move, especially ones that didn't get hit as hard from sets like the mystery booster boxes. So Iconic Masters now approaching 190 at the box price is 180. Of course, usually it's the opposite. Usually the sealed booster box price is going to be worth more going by the value of the TCG market. Let's actually just adjust this to TCG mid and you can get kind of another look at Iconic Masters being 225 is your box price. So if that's the metric you use, then that's a $50 discrepancy between the box price and what the mid price is. And typically, yeah, again, that's reversed. So if we look at any of these other sets, so we have like, let's go back to TCG mid here, or TCG market. I use market because low is not that great of an indicator, and low you'll also have a bunch of damage cards and stuff that get actually equated into the pricing. So I don't use low for the metric. Low is if you need to get out of the cards immediately. That's how much a price you would get from them. Market is showing the average of the cards that have sold. So I think it takes the last 10 cards or 25 cards or whatever metric or week. Uses some sort of either time period or quantity to get that market price. Some in the comment section below clarify exactly how TCG does the market price. So anyway, if we take back a look at Iconic Masters versus other boxes, you can see that it's usually flipped. So when we have like a box like Ixalan, here's a good one, for example, it goes up 10% in the EV, you're going to see the box price go up 20%. And that's pretty true across the board. We have Eldritch Moon that spiked up in value, and the sealed booster box price of Eldritch Moon is very expensive comparatively to the EV you're going to get. So it's very rare that you see a set actually have that flipped, because people will inevitably buy the sealed product to just crack and sell the singles. If you can make a buck, people are going to do it. It's funny how people are willing to work for basically nothing when it comes to labor costs, when it comes to opening sealed product and selling cards. It's always baffled me that you know the amount of work people are willing to do. I'm guilty myself because I actually find it quite cathartic to buy sets and use it as like a treasure hunt. There are often times I won't even come close to making a decent wage when I buy people's collections, when I actually have to piece it out, and all the sorting and grading and all the nonsense that is with buying collections and flipping collections. So again, I wanted to give everyone one last warning for Iconic Masters. I don't think this price is going to hold. There's only one distributor that I can actually get it from, and I'm expecting their booster box price to increase very, very quickly for Iconic Masters. And I can't see it holding. I can't see this price with cards like Consecrated Sphinx and Archangel Thune going up in price, and many of these other plethora of cards around the $5 mark that have continued. Like another card that's rebounded just as the Mishra's Bauble. We could see this card getting crushed though when Lurrus is banned. However, I don't know if it's going to be that significant. You have cards like Supreme Verdict, which see a ton of play in Pioneer, Sarah Senate, which is a staple in Commander, as well as sees play in Modern. Bloodghast, very stable card. We have Prime Time, which is a stable card in Modern. Very casual cards like Glimpse and Unthinkable, and Urbrass the Hidden. This card's been outclassed by some of the newer ones that have come out, but it's still a great card for Commander. And then I'm expecting even cards in this time period, like the Auric Champions, to start to recover, as well as let's go down to the cards like the Oblivion Stone. I think are going to make good recoveries. I think were some of these so we did have some recent reprint, not really, I guess, with like Oblivion Stone. So yeah, I'm expecting this particular card to start to rebound. It had its War of the Spark gone back down, maybe because it's been pushed out of Tron. No, it still sees plenty of play in Tron. But these staples in their various formats, especially one that sees play in Commander, I think are going to have a nice rebound. So do not wait for Iconic Masters. I think that this is your last call before prices start to significantly increase from this sealed price of the box. We could be going the dog days of summer. We'll keep an eye on that. It seems like stimulus checks are still rolling in, and that is being spent on Magic the Gathering cards, which is why we've had a bull market. However, I do foresee when the dust settles and all the product and the shipping problems that Wizards having with like Commander and things being pushed back, once that it's kind of figured out and they start making layers again and all that kind of nonsense, I'm thinking we're going to be heading back into a bear market for the singles market as well as the sealed market. But that will only last until the next tax season. If we get a good robust economy going again and we don't have any hiccups next year, I think we can have a huge recovery, and Magic cards will be a pretty good cards to acquire at their lows at the end of August, probably September, I would assume, when we're going to see the crash in singles. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. This has been Kevin with the Rogue Market. Thanks for watching.